everybody, it's Carrie with Seed to Spoon. Happy November. It is November 1st. It is very cold and dreary and dark and rainy and all that here in Oklahoma. So it is quite the shift that we've had the past couple days, and it is suddenly cold and whew, yeah, it is very, very different. So I thought I would just take this time to talk a little bit about what we're doing this November in the garden and in the kitchen with all of our garden stuff as well, and also growing a lot indoors. So I thought that I would touch a little bit about everything that we're doing this November. November is known for the month for feasting. So what better way to feast than eat a bunch of stuff that you've grown yourself in your garden? Right now inside, we're eating a lot of winter squash that we have harvested throughout the season. I absolutely love spaghetti squash, butternut squash, all of those. Those are my favorite, and it makes it super easy. I make these in the kitchen with our air fryer, and I'm actually going to be making some videos about this coming up soon. So be looking out for that. I'm going to talk all about how the different ways that I make spaghetti squash and butternut squash, because those are two of my favorite things. In most places by now, hopefully you've harvested all of your sweet potatoes, and sweet potatoes are a classic Thanksgiving dish. So impress all of your relatives and your friends this season and bring your own homegrown sweet potatoes. They will love it. We try to do that as well, and we either, we bring sweet potatoes in different ways. One of my favorite ways being if you chop up sweet potatoes and you saute them with some carrots and some butter, and it's so good. And you can top that with different herbs. We like to do either rosemary, oregano, thyme. We try to stick with those herbs when it's this season. Typically when I make that, I love to do basil, a cinnamon basil, but basil isn't growing for us anymore, so I stick with those other herbs that I can harvest in the garden right now. Unfortunately, with the cool season coming in and it's getting really cold, that comes with a lot of sickness. So I always like to touch on different plants that can help to boost your immune system this season, as well as making dishes that are jam-packed with a bunch of nutrients. And if you are interested more in hearing about things that you can grow in the garden to help boost your immunity, I made a video about it. I'll put the link down below in the description, talking about the main groups of food. And also in the app, if you haven't checked out our free app, it lists all of the different health conditions up at the top, and you can actually filter down which plants to grow by which health condition you want to look at. So you can pull up immune support, and it'll pull all of the plants that are really good for immune support. So check those out if you haven't. But while I'm talking about this, I do want to say I make an amazing chicken noodle soup that I typically have on hand like all the time at this season. So we make our own chicken broth and a whole chicken, and then we put a bunch of herbs and fresh veggies from the garden into this recipe, and it makes it taste really good, and it's super healthy. So if you are ever sick, we always make this anytime anybody's sick in the house, and I feel like it's just like super nutrient filled, and it makes everybody feel better a lot faster. And I will include that recipe down below as well. I have a link that I can give you down here. Garlic is something that actually really helps with your immune system, and it's something that you can still plant at this time of year, in most places at least. Pretty much as long as the ground is not frozen, you can still get garlic in the ground. So we are actually still planting garlic, because I actually just got my elephant garlic. That's my favorite one. So we planted our other, you can kind of see it in the background right here. We have our other garlic going right there, but I wanted to plant the elephant garlic too, because that one's just my favorite. So there's still time to do that as long as your ground isn't frozen. Absolutely go out there, plant some more garlic. It'll help boost your immunity once you eat that too. Other things that you could still plant right now would include like some blackberry bushes, maybe some fruit trees. Really, again, as long as the ground is okay to dig in and it's not frozen, you should still be able to put those in the ground. But those are pretty much the only things that you will be planting in the ground right now, unless you have a greenhouse or you're planting indoors. So most of everything that we have growing should be lasting throughout our winter season, because we have a bunch of spinach and kale, and we have some Swiss chard, things like that. And if you can see behind me, we have these PVC dome greenhouses built and ready to go. So in case we do have any sort of, severe weather, any, freezing rain, snow, things like that, or really extreme temperatures, we can get some plastic sheeting over top of them and help protect them on those cold nights or extreme weather days. So that way we should hopefully be able to harvest from our greens all winter long. And if you're interested in learning how to build these, I actually made a video detailing how we did it and showing each step, all the way from getting it started to putting the plastic sheeting on and all of that. I'll include the link down below in the description so you can check that out next. But hopefully, even without the protection, our spinach and kale hopefully will last through the winter. Really here in Oklahoma, they do really well, along with some herbs like rosemary, oregano, thyme. Most of the time we don't even have to cover those here. Last year was, wow, like the weather was just really, really, really cold. So we definitely had to last winter. So hopefully we don't have to do all of that this winter as well and go through all that. But just in case we do, we have everything ready to go and we're not scrambling at the last minute again. One thing I will mention that we love to do, especially this time of year, is propagate herbs. So this is really the perfect time to go about doing that as the summer season's coming to an end and you're going into cool season, going through and taking cuttings off of different herb plants that you have and getting them started indoors. It's a really great time to do that. Dale actually has a video about how to propagate herbs that I'll link to down below, and I'm actually going to be propagating herbs again soon as well, so I'll make another video about that soon as well. I also really like to propagate at this time of year because I like to do these a lot for Christmas presents. So I will get these herbs propagated now and get them started, and then I will get them transplanted over to a smart pot, and then I can gift that. It makes a terrific, really easy, cheap Christmas present that people really appreciate. So we try to do a lot of things like that. You can also get other plants started right now too, or even just gift them a smart pot with some seeds or something like that. But I like to get things started for them ahead of time, and so that way I give them like a plant or something that's already growing. And speaking of gifts, I almost forgot. So this month we are going to be giving away a smart pot. So we're going to start doing a monthly giveaway. We've teamed up with Smart Pots, and this month's giveaway is going to be a 6-foot big bag long bed. So I will show you. I'm actually standing right over here. There's a long bed right here against the trellis. These ones are fantastic to place up against trellises, up against fences, houses, things like that. I love these. So it is a great smart pot. So I'm going to be making a video either later today or tomorrow all about the details of how to go about winning a 6-foot long bed. So make sure you check that out. But I will give you a spoiler. Part of it, you do have to make sure that you are subscribed to our channel and then comment here below on this video. Last but not least, I definitely want to touch on growing microgreens indoors. And so I just did that a couple days ago inside. I have a little grow station set up and just off of our kitchen. So that way it encourages us to use it a lot. So I love having it there because it's in sight. We see it more, so we use it. We're more likely to harvest from there instead of having to come out in the cold and maybe rain and snow, all that. So growing indoors is a fantastic idea. We just have a little tabletop grow light set up for it. But it doesn't take much, and it's in a sunny location as well, and we should be able to have microgreens inside all winter long. This is a great way to help keep yourself really healthy over the winter when you're not able to grow quite as much outside. It's a really good way to help get yourself through the winter until you can get back out in the garden in the springtime. I'll link to the video that I just made the other day of showing how we got started getting these microgreens growing. So I will link to that down in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out while we chatted a little bit about what we're doing this November. If you have any questions or anything, just feel free to leave them in the comment section and I can either make another video or respond there. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.